Chapter 4. Litigation. Chapter 4. Litigation in court. At this time, Xu Luo had to consider the progress of the invaders, unless he did not advance to Zerg, otherwise, consumption was inevitable, and because his god's domain did not have any resources. The only way to collect evolution points was to digest the land. This will make the area of God's domain keep getting weaker and weaker, and it won't last long at all. More importantly, because the resources are scarce, the speed of collection is also very slow. If xianxia is so rich, don't worry, just buy various resource cards and use them to build his god's domain, but he is an ordinary family, and he has no money to buy resource cards. The only way is to plunder. Because he hasn't plundered yet, Xu Luo hasn't progressed for the time being. It's the same when he needs to. For now, he should save the evolution points first. When he woke up the next day, Xu Luo casually ate some toothpaste-like nutrient solution that was difficult to swallow, and then went to the god realm to look at his own development. He saw that Mayfly's unremitting efforts had saved some evolution points. As long as it accumulates, he will become stronger and stronger. After watching the changes in God's domain, Xu Luo boarded the city rail train and arrived at the school. As usual, class teacher Zhang Jinming explained the development of Shenyu with the students. This is a valuable experience explored by generations of human predecessors, and foreign civilizations will not communicate this with them. How to harvest beliefs, how to cultivate one's own dependent race more efficiently, and enrich the species of God's domain, all kinds of resources are a kind of knowledge. And they can't be developed casually with a slap on the head. Xu Luo listened carefully. Although the Zerg doesn't need rich species, and other creatures will only become their food, how to efficiently build God's domain is very useful to him. However, in the second half of the class, a tall, thin middle-aged man suddenly came to the door of the classroom. Mr. Zhang, come out for a while. This middle-aged man has no expression on his face, showing no emotion. Although Zhang Jinming didn't know why, he still said that he should read the book first and then walked out. After a while, Zhang Jinming came back with an ugly face. Xu Luo, come out with me. Xu Luo's expression changed upon hearing this, but he still walked out. At this time, the students in the classroom were also talking about it. Although they didn't know what happened, but judging from the face of the head teacher, it was not a good thing. Outside the classroom door, Zhang Jinming couldn't help but look at Xu Luo. I heard that you invaded Xiangyang's god's domain and killed his goblins. When Zhang Jinming heard the news, he still felt like he was in a dream. Teacher Zhang, please correct me, he invaded my god's domain by himself, and I just fought back. Hiss, so it's true. Zhang Jinming still feels unbelievable. Isn't Xu Luo's initial creature a reptile? This can be said to be the weakest species. Although goblins are not too superior, they are far different from reptiles. In the classroom, someone sitting at the door heard their conversation. What? Xu Luo killed Xiangyang's goblin? It's fake. Really? Isn't Xu Luo's a reptile? How could it kill Xiangyang's goblin? The students all had the same expressions as Zhang Jinming, and they couldn't believe it was true. Hey, you should follow me to the dean's office first. Zhang Jinming sighed. He is just an ordinary teacher, but fortunately he has already sent a message to the principal. I hope there will be time. Dean's office. Are you Xu Luo? The tall, thin, middle-aged man who called Zhang Jinming away before was the teaching director, named Zhao Yiming, and he also had another identity, that of Xiangyang's uncle. It's lawless. Don't you know that students are not allowed to invade each other? Do not allow mutual hacking? Xu Luo sneered. It would be fine if he didn't know the other party's deep fan, but after knowing that this is Xiangyang's uncle, listening to his words just felt ridiculous for a while. No matter how high-sounding the words are, they cannot conceal the fact that his buttocks are crooked. It was Xiangyang who invaded my god's domain first, and I was just forced to fight back. Xu Luo responded lightly. Knowing that this is Xiangyang's elder, naturally there is nothing to say. Preconceived, the other party is aggressively looking for him. Needless to say, he knows what he is going to do. Originally, he just heard that Xu Luo had invaded Xiangyang's domain and killed his goblins. Now that Xu Luo said it, Zhang Jinming's expression changed, and he looked at Xiangyang on the other side. Xiangyang, is this true? What? Originally, Xiangyang, who just wanted to see Xu Luo's misfortune, didn't expect to focus on himself for a while, but when he heard Zhang Jinming's words, he was speechless. Okay, you don't need to say it. As soon as Zhang Jinming saw his appearance, he knew that what Xu Luo said was true. Director Zhao, according to the school rules, Xu Luo is forced to defend and counterattack, so even if he destroys Xiangyang's god's domain, it's a legitimate defense. I think it's time to stop here, otherwise he will be punished for invading his classmate's god's domain. Teacher Zhang is teaching me how to do things. Zhao Yiming frowned and looked at Zhang Jinming with displeasure. As the son-in-law of the Xiang family, he has had a smooth journey, and no one has dared to go against his opinion. Director Zhao wants to use his position to suppress people, so let's go to the principal to discuss it, but we will be punished when the time comes. Seeing the two people fighting against each other, Xu Luo felt warm in his heart. This head teacher is quite responsible. Does he know how capable Xianxia is in this city? Okay. Zhao Yiming sneered. He still didn't believe it. The principal would not give the Xiang family face. Just like that, Zhao Yiming was in front, and Zhang Jinming took Xu Luo and Xiangyang out of the dean's office and went to the principal's office. Come in. Before Zhao Yiming knocked on the door, the principal's voice came from inside. Zhao Yiming opened the door and entered, followed by several others. The target was a muscular middle-aged man. He sat there calmly and looked at the documents in his hand. He is Zheng Tianyu, the principal of the No. 6 middle school in Tianhai City, a former *** fighter, a person with medium divine power. and also has a place among the gods of the human race in the gods continent. Principle: this Xu Luo ignores the school rules and directly chooses to become an invader just after opening the god's domain, invading the god's domain of his classmates. If such a lawless student is not dealt with properly, he will take the school rules seriously. As soon as he opened his mouth, Zhao Yiming beat him up. Although it is known that an invasion has occurred, Zheng Tianyu is not sure about the specifics. Principle: Xianxia invaded first, and Xu Luo was forced to fight back. Zhang Jinming also quickly explained, since both parties are present, let's talk about who invaded first. Zheng Tianyu ignored Zhao Yiming and the two, and looked directly at Xu Luo and the two. Xiangyang opened his mouth. He just wanted his uncle to stand out for him and teach Xu Luo a lesson, but he didn't expect to make trouble with the principal. Principal: it was Xiangyang who invaded me. He threatened me to sell God's domain to him. I disagreed and he directly launched the invasion. I have an email from him here, as well as a record of God's domain invasion. Facing Zheng Tianyu's gaze, Xu Luo spoke neither humble nor overbearing.